Last evening, day 6, God said, "It is very good. It is very good." Then God blessed us with evening, and now God is blessing us with another new day, day 7, a day of rest. This is the Reverend Dr. Laverne Corrine Williams Foster Hall Harvey Brown Fontaine Turner Hill Holt McCain Cash. A day for us to be thankful and rest in God's rest. So, God, yes, God, I ponder what was the God's rest during those last 6 days that got me, us, them, they, the WWW, the whole wide world through the last 6 days. What was God's rest that carried us through to this day 7, your day of rest? You know, God, so many times last week I felt down and out, but God's rest came to my rescue. When I needed more favor than fever, the fever that was running rampant all over and in the news of this generation, God's rest, yes, God's rest, your rest, oh God, blessed me with the smiles and the good words that came through my cell phone and, yes, a social media, and my grandson's hug and the kiss on the soft and gentle kiss on my cheek, and especially when he said, "Hi, Granny." Hi, Granny. When my sister was transported to the emergency room of our nearby hospital, God's rest and the prayers of so many of you, and the gentleness, and the kindness and the patience of the EMT team gave us both comfort. That was God's rest. When hospice became the home for two of my best friends, God's rest, God's rest poured through my lips and my heart and spoke for me and through me, prayerfully providing a little bit of comfort for their families because I was speechless, and it was God's rest that spoke through me. God's rest stopped that car from running a red light and hitting me and perhaps even you. God's rest knows, listen to this, God's rest knows and has an excellent relationship with Nick. You know Nick. God always stops Nick right in time, right in the nick of time. God knows all about Nick and what Nick is capable of doing. Lead us not into temptation and deliver us from all evil. God knows Nick and stops Nick right in Nick's time. What God's rest did for me last week was everything. Everything. So God's rest, yes, is today. God's rest was yesterday, and God's rest we can count on, I can count on tomorrow. God's rest. God's rest is love. God's rest is joy. God's rest is peace. God's rest is patience. God's rest is goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, kindness, and God's rest is self-control. God's rest is our all in all. God is excellence over and over and over and over again. God is. Oh, yes. And as we walk and work embraced within the palms of God's rest, let us, just let us accept the risk of the unknown. Embrace its opportunities and its challenges, knowing that our faith and trust in God's rest was, is, and will be our century and our guidepost. And we will be granted the right to hear God say, just before evening, it is good. It is good. This is the Reverend Dr. Laverne Corrine Williams, Foster Hall, Harvey Brown Fontaine, Turner, Hill, Holt, McCain, Cash. So, embraced within the palms of my prayers, yes, is God's excellence, God's rest. So rest in God's rest. But don't, listen, don't get too comfy. Don't get too comfortable. Because God is expecting us to always do our best to stay in His will, walk in His way, and wait in His why me God. Just wait. When you say a why me God, embraced here in the palms of my prayers, rest in God's rest, because God will answer that question in God's own way, in God's own time. And yes, because when we do our best in God, God's rest will always show up and show out and shout out if God feels the need to do so. So let's just get on up and go on out, because we have every confidence that when we do our best, as God has ordained us to do, God will do the rest, because God is the rest and the best. So come on, let's go on, accept that risk and the challenge, because we know we're doing it for God, and God got our backs.